Hello, good evening, welcome back to this SCW Wrestling Podcast exclusive interview. I'm joined by none other than the LEP Junior Champion, the mysterious Draven. How are you this evening, Draven?
I'm feeling bleak, a little under the weather, but sometimes I can't tell the difference if it's me enjoying the under the weather or vice versa, but all in all, I can say I'm pretty good. How about you? How's you, insignificant interviewer?
That's not a very nice way to start this interview. Let's try and get off to a better foot. What I would say is I'm not particularly happy.
The way I see it, we, the dead man's hand, we run everything now. We run LEP, we run it all. So you better be the one who chooses his words carefully before something sinister happens to you.
Okay.
But carry on with the questions. I'll gladly play along.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Where are you from? Like, you just sort of appeared one show where you were wrestling a match against Jason King. Where have you come from?
Before then I was a nobody. And I don't intend to talk too much about that because it really was insignificant as this interview. But I came from afar, a very long far, and then I saw onto that to become a wrestler. And it's what's made me who I am today. And it's been a hell of a fiery blaze.
Okay, what would you say? What's made you want to be a wrestler, and how did that sort of come about?
The joys of beating people repeatedly. Come from a background of being beaten myself, but just taking that vengeful anger out on so many people has brought me joy. Of course, I've witnessed it on TV, and I think that's what probed me from the beginning. Like many people, watching WWE, watching TNA, watching so much of it has literally warped me, warped my mind, and more importantly, just warped me into yours truly.
Okay, that sounded very mysterious. If I may ask you, who was your favourite wrestler before you became a wrestler? Any influences?
There's a culmination of wrestlers who I actually admired, those who shaped me mentally. They go from people like Mick Foley, such a crazy son of a gun, Kane, Undertaker, but most importantly, the one who I admired the most for his charismatic, suicidal desires is Jeff Hardy.
Wow, okay.
And for his mystics, I wasn't done! And for his mystics, I'd have to say the icon Sting. Not for his face paint, but for his sheer rebellious attitude.
Wow, I'm kind of shocked by that. Please, as I said, this is meant to be a two-way interview. I find that you're just like the rest of the Dead Man's Hand. Very, very rude interrupting. Let me answer the questions, please, if you may, Draven.
First of all, and this is one of the things that has drawn me onto your little interview podcast, whatever. You've been getting my name wrong various times. It's not Draven. It's Draven. Draven. Got it memorized?
Okay, please forgive me, Draven. I'll try and get that right throughout the majority of our interview. So let's go forward then. So you debuted in LEP Wrestling against none other than Jason King, and this was an open challenge match. What made you sort of choose as that the right time for you to make your debut?
Well, I'd have to say what gave me the inspiration to go out there and give a piece of hell to such a man as Jason King is because, well, I've met people like him my whole life. Loudmouth, arrogant people who deserve to just taste defeat. And I'll admit, I lost. It was an effort that was thrown back in my face. But I don't regret it because, well, it showed me that even though he's a loudmouth, arrogant man, that someday I will be ready for the likes of him. And I've got all the muscle, all the power from DMH to give me that support when the day comes due.
Okay, how long have you been in the shadow, so to speak, and how sort of were you there the whole time? Were you sent as a tool almost to warm down various opponents of Dead Man's Hand?
First of all, I was never a tool. How dare you say such a thing? I'm not a tool. If anything, I'm a vanguard. I'm something of pure desire to just destroy. And no, I wasn't acting under DMH at that point. I just simply was out to make a name for myself when I went out and took out Jason King. When I faced him, it wasn't long after that, despite my loss, that DMH sought me out. They came to me because they saw something in me.
Okay, talk me through that whole recruitment process. There's a lot of rumours going around, particularly we've done our own investigation here at SCW into the brainwashing tactics of one John Joe Obrey.
You see, it's that right there from people like you who call it brainwashing. His name is the Revelator for a reason. He opens your mind to the possibilities. Like all you sheep, you sheeple, as they say it, just don't know how to open to the big picture. John the Revelator, the master of shadows, has shown the ways, the error of all our ways, us members in DMH. And we've achieved so much that so many in their beginning years have gained nothing. Take so many who we've taken out like Mad Dog, and so many who are yet to follow that long line, all because they just don't understand the Revelator.
Okay, what was it with the sort of this vindication against the Mad Dog Vinny K, the current LEP Academy champion? What was it? Why did you guys target him solely almost?
All of us have our reasons, but we all follow under the Master's reasons, and it's none of your business. We do what we want because he says it to be, and it is the right thing to do. I'm sure there's a big plan behind it, but in the end, it's all about control. Gaining control.
Do you think that sort of your so-called Master of Shadows is now in danger, now he's been exposed of who he really is as such?
If anything, I think it's shown just how much more powerful he is. Now people are finally more afraid than ever. It's one thing to be afraid of a man without a face. It's another to finally see his face and know just how much of a big entity he's become.
Okay, you seem to have a previous issue with drunken Master Johnny Sicko. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Oh, he's a useless, drunken sack who can't get a win to save his life. Not even his precious alcohol, as he says, fuels him, is his savior.
Sorry to interrupt you. He's a tag team champion. He's the current LEP tag team champion. And he defeated two of your so-called Dead Man Hand members in the British Thug, Scott Johns, and the Enforcer, Jago.
Oh, you got me there. But it is tag team after all, and I'm pretty sure most of the help was done to his weird jump over the ropes O'Brien. Mostly, I'd say, without help, the Drunk Master could never, ever succeed. He's lost to me countless of times, and yes, he got himself a lucky win, but within time, I'm sure he'll fall back on his big, fat, drunken, besotted ass, like he always does.
Okay, very harsh words. If I may ask you, what's been your best moment in LEP so far?
My best moment? Just thinking about it. I'd have to say my best, other than joining Dead Man's Hand, would be winning the gold itself. My pure championship. It's mine at last, and nothing is going to take it from me. I'd have to say the moment when I finally laid Shane Palmer, the Phoenix Kid, to waste was my proudest moment yet.
Okay, a lot of people are saying, though, you could have done that without the help of the LEP women's champion, Ruthless Ruth Jackson, sort of helping you. What do you say to them critics?
Well, I'd say there's critics to go bite themselves, but they're not here. But all in all, we are one as Dead Man's Hand. It doesn't matter, women or man. Quite frankly, I find that hugely sexist, to say the least. So I'm just going to leave it at that as far as you can. Next question.
Okay, who would you like to defend your belt against in future?
Anybody but Shane Palmer. The kid just doesn't seem to quit. Like the Phoenix, he certainly lives by his name of rising from the ashes, but if I had to pick someone in particular, Well, that is a doozy. I'd say the Mad Dog himself.
The Mad Dog Vinny Craig. Do you think you're slightly biting off more than you can chew?
Not as much as he bit off more than he can chew. We terrorized him long enough to make him get the message, but he still persisted, and I'll give him that for finally getting the big win. Well done, Vinny. Well done for finally getting that big win. That big, juicy win. You can only just ask yourself right now is, how long is it going to last?
God, very, very cocky words there, Draven. I have to say that you're really outrageous. I think some of the things you're saying now are pretty disgusting to hear. Sorry to say that.
Well, I spit blood in faces, so take it how you wish.
That's a good point, actually. So what is this mysterious stuff that comes out of your mouth that's solely helped you win the title belt you've got now, the junior title?
Oh, that was a low blow. You talk about me being rude, that was rude. Well, if you must know, that is a precious vial administered from so many thankful people to offer me their lovely plasma, but not that it's any of your business. I use it how I wish. Maybe it's theirs, maybe it's mine. I'll leave that in mystery, just like I'll leave my strategies of winning in mystery to all of you. Once again, I'll say it again. Next question. You're boring me here.
Okay, please don't stop me. This is the SCW Wrestling Podcast. This is a platform for you. We are only doing this interview because your so-called leader, Mr. John Aubrey, the Revelator, has insisted I have to interview you.
And like the great Revelator, I insist that you do exactly as you're told, or just like so many people who've paid dearly for standing against us, you will pay no differently, if not worse. So, once again, be careful.
Okay, I'm slightly alarmed. I'm really, really worried about this now. You're very, very sort of cowardly. I think ultimately, one day, Dead Man's Hand, sooner rather than later, will be no more, and LEP will be back to being LEP. Danny Walsh is gonna get the promotion back. You may own the company at the moment, but it's a technicality. You're not gonna keep it.
Oh, sorry, were you talking about the pretty boy? Oh, sweet pretty boy. I bet his feelings are so hurt. I think I backcrackered that guy, and then Roof kicked his ass, and then we speared him. Oh, sorry, you're going to have to remind me. I've forgotten all about the guy who we brutalized the day our master revealed himself to him.
Talk me through that.
Everyone.
Talk me through that, Draven. Talk me through the feelings that day, how it came about, and sort of how you felt when it was done. That is one of the most treacherous parts in LEP, probably for the whole of last year. That was probably one of the worst moments of 2017 for me personally.
What you call treacherous, I call genius, mind-opening, mind-boggling. Purely just, you cease to understand the beauty of these actions and what they uphold, what they obtain.
Okay.
But all in all, I'd have to say it just came down to sheer well-planning, and in the end, you were all fooled. Hell, I seem to remember you seemingly just, if not crying your emotions out on how could the great master do this? How could he do this? But I also remember on an interview when he just said, when you asked him, how could he do this and why is he doing this? This isn't the man you remember. And then he turns around and tells you, this is how I've always been. This is how he has always been. And it doesn't take a sadistic man like me to realize it, or sadly it does, because you just don't seem to realize it, do you?
I've got to admit, I was pretty disgusted by the treachery that my former podcast host, the man formerly known as John Joe Aubrey, had done this latest betrayal. And I was still shocked. I'm still sort of hurt by this now. I'm still sort of in pure shock by this. I think, let's go into this now. So who do you think is the best wrestler within Dead Man's Hand, and what makes you unstoppable in your eyes?
Oh, I don't want to nitpick saying that one of us is better than the other. We're all amazing in our own little ways. But if I had to say who's the greatest wrestler, next question. I don't want to ruin things for you. You can all just stay in mystery like that, like so many things. You're just a blind case of people. Next question, please.
Have you got a message for the LEP fans at all?
Yeah. You all keep referring to our master as John Joe. You will all pay a hefty price for doing such an act. So, From now on, stop saying John Joe, and this goes to you, interviewer, especially. He is the Master of Shadows, John the Revelator. And for all you people, just open your minds, because we don't discriminate. If anything, we'd like all of you, if you would just wake up and join us. Just join us.
I'm going to stop you right there. Please don't try and recruit the listeners of this podcast to join your evil ways. This ain't a propaganda platform for you to start recruiting the listeners of this podcast, the fellow fans of LEP. Without these fans, at Dead Man's Hand will be nothing. Hello, Draven. Hello, Draven. Hello, Draven. Are you there, Draven?
This interview's over. Go bite something.
Okay, this has been the SCW Wrestling Podcast. I've been your host, George Jones. Draven has disconnected the call. Very fearful words there from the LEP Junior Champion. Thank you all for listening. Let's hope LEP somehow can get out of this.